Most of you have probably heard of stem cells, but do you know exactly what they are? Well, stem cell therapy is a procedure that's helping alleviate chronic conditions. It's the body using its own healing powers, and it's been shown to improve various health problems. Today, the second part of my visit with Dr. Majzoubi of Maj Medical Clinic in Visalia. We are talking to Dr. Majzoubi here at his clinic in Visalia, and let me tell you, he is changing the lives of some of his patients in huge ways. Thank you so much for having us today and talking about stem cell therapy. What is stem cell therapy?
Stem cell therapy and cellular therapy involves getting your own stem cells and reintroducing it into your body in areas that your body need, and allowing the stem cells to regenerate the tissue.
And you're treating people with chronic pain, and sometimes even asthma and hair loss and tendon injuries.
It also helps patients with tendonitis. So I have some pictures of, here's a picture of a patient's tendon, and if you look in the middle, there's a hole there, and that's where the tendon tears. So this is a partial tendon tear in the Achilles tendon, and she received an injection of stem cells with platelets. And here's another picture that's about 8 weeks after the treatment, and as you can see, the hole is being filled with the mesenchymal stem cells. And then 1 year later is the third picture that we see here, that we see it's a complete resolution of the tear. So I have patients that we've taken off of chronic pain meds because of it. You know, these are patients that have actually gone through the gamut of medicine. So you know, they're not getting better, and this is an alternative treatment. It's a holistic, natural treatment that they use their own body's healing powers to heal itself.
But 9 years ago, I got valley fever, but I was misdiagnosed with bacterial pneumonia and given an antibiotic that I had a really bad reaction to. And I had a lot of complications from that, including peripheral neuropathy, central nervous system neuropathy, autonomic nervous system neuropathy, ruptured tendons, tinnitus, just a long list of bad things from this drug.
Well, Jeff came in about 6 months ago, and he had seen one of my flyers, I think in Costco, and he said he had already researched about the stem cells, and I told him what I do.
You put how many millions, maybe even billions of stem cells of his own back into his body? So
we counted at the end about 2.3 billion stem cells that we put in.
I felt better the next day. I had had a limp on my left side for over a year, and the next morning I got up out of bed, made coffee, wandered around the house for 20 minutes, and all of a sudden I realized that I wasn't limping. I had 0 amounts of pain in any part of my body, which was basically riddled with pain the day before. So it was a miracle, honestly.
He was amongst the patients that we actually stimulated or activated their stem cells prior to putting it into the IV bag. So as time goes on, we're improving the protocol, and I just let the patients guide me. You know, as they get better, we say, okay, we're going to keep doing it this way.
What about recovery time?
Recovery is actually is not very long. One of the biggest discomforts is, you know, patients getting a little bit of a soreness where we take the stem cells, but that only lasts for a couple of days. We give patients usually some anti-inflammatories. We give them a couple of days of antibiotics, and they do just fine. And
I know you're going through some FDA studies right now.
The protocol is in FDA trials for safety and efficacy. So it's a 5-year study. So I think they're in the 3rd year.
So it's looking pretty hopeful for you.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully in the next few years, this would be kind of a mainstream treatment that for people who don't want medication.
It's real. I mean, it was literally a miracle that the way this stuff worked for me, honestly.
Well, you certainly are changing lives, and you're doing it affordably, too. Yes. He's the only doctor here in the Valley that does this type of procedure. You usually have to go down south, and they charge up to $12,000, you said, and you're way more affordable, sometimes even up to 40% less. Correct. I love that. Correct. Thank you for providing this stem cell therapy for us here in the Valley. It really is changing lives. Thanks again, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you.